Hello and welcome back. Sorry for the very, very long absence. I was very ill. I had like this weird, like Victorian consumption that I get like once a year. So
It was scary. I had to take you to hospital.
yeah,
It was
yeah.
terrible.
It was not a fun time.
But I nursed you back to health.
He did. He did. He took very good care of me. So I'm in much better shape now. That song you heard at the beginning though was us.
Yeah.
That's what we've been up to in our spare time. We used to make music together a lot.
That's
like,
how we first met.
yeah.
That's how I first captured you with my Riz.
With your musical riz.
It was with my production Riz.
And we haven't done anything for how many years now?
Well,
Probably
I think
like 5-6 years.
When Cammy moved back to America, because she was
America,
she was our bandmate. When Cammy moved back to America, it just felt kind of weird making music
Without her.
without her.
Yeah.
So but now I guess it's just sort of like doing something kind of totally new, and it actually really suits you.
Jake has been making jungle music, and I was just like, fuck it, I'll hop on one of your tracks. He did a show.
I did.
Our boy played a show.
I played my first show in like 5 years, which was really cool. It was great. I went to go and play at the electronic music open mic night at the Dublin Castle, which was amazing. So it's incredible that I got to play at the Dublin Castle as my first gig back in 5 years.
If you don't know the Dublin Castle, it's a pub in Camden that like Madness, Amy Winehouse.
Madness first played there in 1979. It's like a massive kind of legendary music venue that's kind of very grassroots, and it's still super grassroots.
Yeah.
It's kind of not one that got bought or did anything
Yeah.
crazy with it. It's still just a dingy room at the back of the Dublin Castle
Yeah.
where the Ramones played, and like you know some of their first UK shows and all sorts of stuff. So it's just it's a very, very, very cool place to participate.
Speaking of Camden pubs, though, we watched what was it called? Baby Reindeer.
Oh yeah.
Over the weekend.
And it was fun
which
to
I
just
regret.
see like little alleyways and little bits and bobs. You're like, oh, I know where that is.
Yeah.
That's cute.
For those of you who don't know what Baby Reindeer is, it's this like new show on Netflix that everyone's been talking about. It's sort of captured the zeitgeist, and it's about a male comedian that's like being stalked by this like
Crazy
really
lady.
crazy erotomaniac lady. And the thing is, the first episode starts out promising because it's like, oh, this is like some kind of weird thriller. But then it kind of devolves into this like weird, like liberal morality play.
Yeah, it's sort of very
It was like
strange.
really abject and gross and not fun to watch.
Especially like I think I didn't watch we didn't watch past episode 4, which is where like all the bad stuff happens basically. So yeah.
Jake's like, that's all I have to say about that.
I mean, it
was fun to see the places that we frequent on a daily basis portrayed on a Netflix show.
It just felt like he was kind of like a hysterical man.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know,
but this sort of like hysterical liberal BPD boy it's an archetype. It's a type of male. And the thing is, the show, I think it would have been like very kind of Lars von Trier-esque if it like pathologized the main character, but it doesn't. It's like, oh, this guy's actually brave and stunning and like interesting, and it's like, no, he's like a hysterical woman in a man's body.
It was quite, I don't know. I think that it's just I feel like I had a lot to say when we watched it, and now I'm like trying to recall it.
Well, one of the interesting things
I'm so like fucking traumatized by the last episode that everything interesting I had to say about it's just been like pushed out.
I mean, I feel the same way. I mean, one interesting thing that you did say was that you think it's funny that people make fun of like the Daily Wire and all of these conservative outlets for making these preachy.
Like they make the Gina Carano like shitty Western film that everyone like rips apart and all this stuff, but then like Netflix does this sort of thing, which is basically like the liberal equivalent of that, and it gets like lauded and praised. And I thought that it was like
a tour de force.
And I don't know. I obviously didn't finish it, but maybe that is a testament to the story in itself. If you know what I mean, because it's not like a movie; it's a series. It's a 7-hour commitment, which is already like quite a lot of time.
Yeah.
But then but then it's not really. If you find a story that you like, you just watch it, don't you?
Yeah.
Like that's kind of it.
Yeah.
So, and that's kind of the difference with you know, things in the streaming
I was
era.
on board on the first episode. I was like, oh, it's in my hood. it's in Camden, you know, it's like a thriller. I'm in for this, but then it sort of...
Well, there was just also a lot of like hypocritical things within his sort of character or
it's like he's
whatever.
showing you his abjection and telling you to tell him that it's brave and stunning, which is precisely the sexual pathology of this archetype of human being. They get a thrill from self-debasement, and that's kind of because it's a true story, and the comedian is like a real guy, and he was really stalked by a real woman who's actually come out. She's apparently going to do an interview soon.
Oh, great.
I wonder if she still lives in Camden. That's like what I'm wondering.
If we see her like on the corner or something.
Like in a pub. We should like go to all the pubs and see if we can like chat her up or something and like get her on the podcast. That would be really fun. But yeah, it's a true story. He claims that all the events happened, but it's like, why would you share this? It kind of gives me the same energy as like the hysterical kind of Me Too starlet that uses their tale of sexual trauma as a way of like launching themselves into the zeitgeist. And seeing a man do that is just like, oh my God, like really, come on.
I think also the sort of the idea that someone would sort of pursue a sexual relationship in the guise that they would then be perceived as progressive. Or morally good, which was kind of basically what he confessed to on the train ride home from the date with the
trans manic pixie trans woman.
Yeah, with the manic pixie trans woman.
Yeah.
And then sort of like in one breath he's sort of saying that she's my perfect or dream woman, woman, or something like this. To sort of really amp up the like, I'm so woke. I'm so into this.
I'm so fucking
But then in the sort of literal same scene, he like can't kiss her in public.
Yeah.
So it's like, if she was the woman of your like, do you not understand what the woman of your dreams means, or like how that actually plays out in reality, or like how you would actually act if that was the case, or sort of like I just sort of
no, because I remember we were talking about this. We were talking about interracial relationships earlier and how it's for people like us, it's just sort of a product of like metropolitan life.
Yeah,
it's not this like contrived, look at how progressive I am thing. Yeah. We are people that live in one of the world's most multicultural cities. So of course people fall in love, encounter each other and fuck in all sorts of different ways. But the fact that he openly admits that he sort of calibrates his sexual proclivities towards what's like considered progressive, that was deeply disturbing to me.
Well, also, wouldn't that be basically like wearing someone like a badge?
But that's what they do. That's what they do.
Isn't that
it's what they fucking do.
Isn't that sort of objectifying someone more than men would regularly objectify like a regular woman?
That's the problem with a lot of this progressive lib fucking mentality, is it's no different from reactionary thought. It's just sort of dressed up in prettiness and euphemisms and stuff.
Because I feel like I was just lost a little bit within all of that. That was all the contradictions that were sort of making me go, I just don't
There were
understand.
way too many, and the show doesn't like it's autobiographical, and it is sort of, again, like I was saying in the Discord earlier about it, like, you know, people used to seek moral absolution from priests and religious authority figures, but now people seek validation as a form of moral absolution in that sense. It helps them sleep better at night if they can show you their like weird fetishes and their abjections and have you say, actually, it's valid and it's brave and it's stunning. They need that in order to feel like morally and spiritually like absolved.
I also thought it was really, I was like very uninterested in him as a character and as a man, I guess, like after the scene where like Martha goes to beat up his date.
Oh yeah.
And like she literally barges him out the way like he's fucking air. Like he's nothing, because
she is quite a rotund woman.
He is a stick compared to her, who is like a complete unit.
Yeah, man.
But then she starts wailing on his fucking girlfriend, and
he's just standing there.
He can't like grab her off somehow. Like he doesn't quite like have the strength or anger or resolve or whatever it is in him yet, just to kind of like fully commit to whatever's to the situation as it's unfolding, even though there's like physical violence happening to the person that you're supposedly your dream girl or something, right? But then when Martha then says, "You look like a man," he then like
erupts into rage.
Eruption.
How dare you upset my trans manic pixie dream girl? That's when he finally grows some balls.
And then he has the balls to stand up to a woman, and it was just sort of like I've like completely lost all interest in
I mean, it's an insight. It's an insight into the psyche of a very specific type of liberal male.
I guess it's
an abject look into this, and it's one I didn't ask for. It's one I wasn't necessarily ready to encounter, but lo and behold, thanks a lot, Netflix.
Compelling male characters. All right, I'm loving Goku, Dragon Ball Z. I'm loving Thorfinn. Okay, Finland Saga. I'm loving Walter White. Okay, Breaking Bad. I'm loving Tony Soprano. Okay. What the fuck is this?
This is the new
He's
Travis
the main
Bickle.
character. He's the no. Don't you dare.
This is the new Travis Bickle. This is the neo Travis Bickle.
No,
it is.
I'm the neo Travis Bickle.
No, you're not. You have like a job. You have a girlfriend. Like you have a good life. You're not Travis Bickle. Like Jesus Christ.
I'm gonna start driving taxis pretty easily.
Just like Jake the Uber driver.
Doing my philosophy, doing my fucking like Sigma philosophy.
Your Sigma philosophy. Oh my god.
Lurking around local politicians. I saw Keir Starmer in Soho. I called him a dickhead down to his face.
Jake called Keir Starmer a dickhead to his face. You ruined his day.
I did all the protests needed for
for a lifetime.
For the next 10 years. For the next Labour fucking edition of bullshit.
I was so proud. You came home. You were like, I saw Keir Starmer in Soho, and I called him a dickhead to his face. And I was like, now that's a man. That's a real man right there.
I was on the phone to you, and he like stepped out of a Jaguar, like going towards some fucking members club or something. Like,
was he really?
Like, he was coming down the street towards me, and I was walking towards him. He definitely
naughty.
He definitely fucking saw me as well, especially after I literally said to you on the phone, "Oh my god, that's fucking Keir Starmer."
What a dickhead.
What a fucking dickhead.
Oh my god. Should we look at the chat? Should we have a look at the chat?
Oh yeah.
Have we pulled it up?
Hang on. I had to pump me fucking what do you call it?
Don't do a northern accent, Jake. That's
my gain up.
That's classist.
Sorry, it's because I watched too much Jerry Jackson basically when I was like in my teenage years, and now it's just a voice I do.
Like anytime you try to do a dumb guy voice, you do like a northern English accent.
Jerry Jackson voice,
which is really classist, and that just shows your southern classism.
I do the Jerry Jackson voice. No. It's not anything like classist or anything. It's just like I think of a stupid person,
and you do a northern accent.
No, and I think of
that shows how deep these divides go.
I think of a simple British man, and I think of Jerry Jackson immediately. And if you don't know what Jerry Jackson is, type in Jerry Jackson David Firth on YouTube.
If you like Salad Fingers,
he's the guy that did Salad Fingers, and like this was just like a different cartoon series he did, which was just fucking ridiculous, and just I loved it. It stayed in my mind a lot.
Sid says Queen's Gambit. I love that show, but
last one I watched was Anya Taylor-Joy as the chess player in 2020. I don't remember the name. Oh yeah, Queen's Gambit.
I love Queen's Gambit.
I didn't watch it. I thought it sounded ridiculous.
You said it sounded like a baseball anime.
Yeah, it did. It sounded like a baseball anime, but for women to feel powerful.
Well, it worked. Smart. It worked. I did feel powerful and smart, and I started playing chess because of it. So
it's loads of scenes. Basically, I didn't even watch it, but I read that there was basically loads of scenes where just like this young woman basically just sort of has a cigarette or some pills or something, and then goes, yes, bang, chess champion, suck 'em, and you're just that is the most anime shit I've ever heard in my fucking life. And everyone's like, oh my god, this is genius storytelling. This is fucking empowering women.
Sorry, I shouldn't be smoking. It was fun. And I felt so inspired after watching it that I beat you at chess twice. So
you did. Out of 5 games, you did beat me twice.
I did. I beat you twice. So it does what it says on the tin. I beat you
3 times.
All right.
What show was this? We were talking about Baby Reindeer.
At least back in the mid 2010s.
Cards and Kevin Spacey having things all off hard. I don't know.
I didn't watch House of Cards.
They've done some great stuff recently. We absolutely adored Blue Eye Samurai.
Yes.
I've been absolutely loving so much of the original anime that they've been making over the last few years. They've been absolutely fucking killing it, from anything like Cyberpunk to fucking Delicious in Dungeon. I think Food Wars was original production or co-production with Netflix as well. Agretsuko! Fuck, dude. Oh, Kotaro Lives Alone.
Yeah, Kotaro Lives Alone was cute.
There is like a really good, like almost 10 animes that I just reeled off there that are easily some of the best animes I've watched in my life, and they're all Netflix original productions. So, you know, I can't hold it against them. And, you know, Angie's mum is using my account, and my grandparents also use my account, so I'm kind of locked in. You just kind of like got to go with it and watch.
My mom is in Nigeria watching K-dramas. That's her favorite thing to watch, is like Korean soap operas on Netflix.
The last like people show that I really liked on Netflix, I am trying to think of that because I have become fairly weebish in my watching habits recently.
It's gross. Yeah, I don't know why you've gotten back to anime. It's like gross. Sad and weird.
Just good things that are on.
I know there's not enough good television, so I've sort of started to kind of peer into like there's this one we've been watching called Susu no Freiren, which I absolutely adore. Like it's like one of the best fantasies period that I've encountered in a while.
Fantastic.
I never thought I would.
I hope they make a video game.
Those words would come out of my mouth.
I hope they make a video game of that universe or like something. It's just absolutely
it's charming,
wonderful.
Very, very charming. I highly recommend it.
Some of the most gorgeous art it's like they are moving paintings. It is just utterly outrageous. I don't know the technique or the style they did with it, but they absolutely fucking killed it.
Jay George says he doesn't associate Netflix with anime. He associates it with action stuff. Well, I guess we kind of exclusively associate it with anime now because that's all that's good on there. Everything else is some weird lib morality fucking sexual pathology fucking play or whatever.
There was that other one that was like about climate change with Leo. And what's her name?
Don't Look Up or whatever.
Yeah, Don't Look Up.
Yeah,
that was bad. And then there was like what was the other real life thing that we watched that was Netflix?
I don't remember. I don't really like. We haven't seen anything good on there for a long time.
Not for a very long time.
Not to justify the subscription anyway. It's mostly for our boomer relatives to mooch off of. But anyway,
everyone's got boomer relatives that mooch off them a little bit. It's just how it is.
Anyway, our next topic for the evening, we went to see Alex Garland's Civil War.
Talking of watching things, yeah, it wasn't Netflix. We went to the real life.
We went to the real life cinema.
The movie theater. My best Matt Berry impression.
It was right before I got sick. Someone said Midnight Mass was great. I actually really liked Midnight Mass. We enjoyed that.
Pretty much everything that guy has done is actually. Oh no, his first thing I didn't really like at all, and I thought it was terrible. But then
which one was that?
It was this like Up on Hill House.
Murderer. Yeah, I liked it. I think I watched it and I was like, this is fine.
It was like this ghost thing that was like not sequential, and it just got way too fuddled and shit for me. I just didn't get on with it. But the vampire one afterwards, the mass one, I think.
That's the one.
That was
really
awesome.
Cool.
That was really.
I like anything in like a weird small town. Like I'll watch that. Jay George says I only have Mubi these days. Ooh, look at you, Mr. Fancy.
He's a fucking cinema.
Connoisseur.
He's a cinema liker. He's a cinema enjoyer.
So he's our
Mubi subscription.
Our resident Discord cinema enjoyer. No, I love it. I think it's so sweet. He's like young. I think he's in like university. So seeing a Zoomer who actually cares about film in that way is...
back in my day, mate, we didn't have Mubi. We had Pirate Bay, okay? And you just had to kind of like go on forums and stuff and then see what people like, this is like a really good,
weird,
like sick
obscure
little like Korean director. Or like, I think that was... I think it was actually just trying to impress you that I ended up like watching a load of Woody Allen films and like a load of other like cinema. Because I was like, because then I can talk cinema and impress Angie.
Oh, that's so cute. Oh, that's adorable. At least
then I found out you didn't even watch a single Woody Allen film, and you didn't really like give a shit.
No.
So
you were there like trying to like spout lines from Woody Allen films. So I was like,
dude, you don't know that shit. I thought it was like film student,
Oh, piss off! That is such a. I'm insulted. Deeply insulted. What was I saying? We went to see Civil War, which
was mid.
Yeah, 7 out of 10. I would say what did I say? I said it was American Children of Men, but with less to say.
Is Children of Men the snowy one, the British one?
Yeah, Children of Men is the British one with Clive.
With me as an old man.
Yeah, with you as an old man in it. What's his name? Plays you.
With Michael Caine.
Michael Caine, yeah.
Being an absolute Riz master.
I'm sorry, I don't want to be the catatonic like wife.
Michael Caine is absolutely Rizmaster General.
He really truly is. Yeah.
He's one of those. Yeah. He's kind of like our Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah.
Or like,
do you know what I mean?
He's too old now, but back in the day.
Back in the day, he could riz the pants off anyone. I wouldn't want to be the catatonic wife in Children of Men. I think she's a writer as well. It literally is us, and she's so traumatized by the world she stops speaking, and he has to like feed her soup and stuff. Would you feed me soup?
I would feed you soup.
That's good to know. Lois says, bad movie. I guess it worked as anti-war because it was relentlessly bleak. I agree in that sense. Like, it was anti-war, but it didn't have much to say beyond that. Whereas Children of Men is a far more layered film. And I guess the reason I compare it to Children of Men, because it was kind of shot in a similar way. Like, some of those scenes in the car, those kinetic scenes in the car when they're traveling cross country, like the traveling across England is kind of a motif in Children of Men. They're in the car for like most of the film. I think there was just you get that sort of similar feel of traveling across a decaying landscape where there's all this sort of,
there's like Vice documentaries I can watch that do a better job of that.
Yeah, true, but I'm just saying in terms of drawing parallels between the two films.
Yeah, I don't know. I just like I thought it was really narratively fucking boring. And there was
it didn't really know what it wanted to say.
It was pretty predictable as well in like what it was going to happen. And then there were also loads of like these little choices that I thought just didn't have any logical sense, that were just done because kind of thing. And like, spoiler alert, I guess.
Yeah.
If you don't want to like, skip or pause or something in the live stream, I don't know. But fucking basically Kirsten Dunst fucking dies, and the woman, like the protege or whatever that's traveling around with her the whole time, like the main character, is carrying around a film camera this whole time. And there's even like a little quirky scene where she's developing film and like trying to talk to her about like being a photographer, being a war photographer, and all this kind of thing. And I guess it was done to kind of build it as like that, right? As like I'm a budding photographer, and I'm just using like what's on hand or whatever.
Yeah.
But fuck off. Are you actually going to take a fucking film camera around with you to fucking do war photography? Like, especially if you're a fucking noob. Like, that's just not going to happen. And then not only that, like, one of the final shots of the film is Kirsten Dunst's character dying. And then, like, there being film shots of her, like, as she's on the floor taking the picture. It's like, brother, you're in a fucking film camera. You can't do that like fucking 3 times as someone's like falling down. And you've just made that like the big final moment of your film as well. It just feels like these are just such stupid little things that what is even the payoff for that decision? Well, it feels like so fucking stupid. Or maybe I'm like autistic and getting stuck in like stupid details. But it feels like the whole thing was like, I'm not going to give you any context or anything around the actual Civil War or why people are at Civil War or anything like that. We're going to be totally fucking vague neutral and make it about journalism. And there's we're going to make a point about this one having a fucking film camera. I don't know, man.
There's shorthand for American culture war signals in there. Like, obviously the president is supposed to be this sort of Trumpian figure. Charlottesville is mentioned. What else?
Charlottesville's mentioned, but it's sort of within
the white supremacist. It's what kind of American are you, guy? There are these. Yeah, that I love the actor. He's married to Kristen Dunst in real life as well. I think that's really sweet.
He did well for himself. He's a very strange-looking man.
I think he's sexy in a weird way because he's like threatening. Way? Yeah, because he's threatening. I don't know why.
In an abject way.
In an abject way, yeah.
Bad. That's not good. I dig those glasses as well. I definitely.
You have those glasses.
No, I used to have a pair of the ones that I have already, but red, not like just completely acrylic red all over. I think that's quite a vibe. Jesse Plemons,
yeah, he's great. He's absolutely great.
But he does have, I don't know if it looks like his facial features are sculpted out of like crude clay. Do you know what I mean? Like someone's got a blob of clay and made his chin and his cheeks and his forehead and just gone like that with two little dots, and then that's just kind of his face.
Like a Play-Doh man that
he has a very strange face, like, you know.
That's not very nice of you to say.
Well, hey, we pick apart ladies on this show all the fucking time as actresses and celebrities and whatever.
Are you saying that I
feel like I'm due to pick apart a dude's appearance on this show.
Are you saying that I'm like Cersei Lannister, that I'm like a female misogynist?
No,
and that I just go
this.
after the women.
I'm not saying that you do this. I do this. I comment quite frequently about how weird such and such looks, or whoever looks. And I feel like I do that with women.
So you're an equal opportunity.
I'm an equal. When there's a weird looking dude, I'll happily tell everybody how weird looking I think.
Amadan says I agree about Jesse.
See,
that he's sexy or that he's weird looking.
That he's weird looking, I bet.
Tell us what you think. I think he's sexy. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, there's like American culture war shorthand, which I guess is kind of what the film is trying to say in that sense. Mm-hmm. Especially, I think that it's really interesting that the meme that came out of the film is that "What kind of American are you?" Mm-hmm. meme, because that feels like everything right now. Everything's so tribal.
Yeah, that one line hits the nail on the head. Yeah. However, it doesn't actually even explore what type of American he's looking for.
Yeah.
Whether that's South or North, or whether that's what kind of divide that is within.
Yeah.
None of it's explained. And I think even the choice that they make with the two seceding states, being California and Texas, plays into further the ambiguity of, is this a Democrat thing,
versus
is this a Republican thing it could be, but like no one, like, do you know what I mean? And it's just sort of, that annoys me because it's just not real.
Whereas
it's just like
in Children of Men you have a specific character with a goal. He has, and I mean, Kirsten Dunst has the goal, which is to get to the White House or whatever, but that almost becomes superfluous.
And to interview the president.
But it's always superfluous because there's no real, like, the plot that's surrounding it isn't, like,
but what
populated enough.
Why?
Like,
what did he do? What is so, like, what makes you want to do this more than anyone, just because he had launched an attack on seceding states or something? Like, he's still, even that is, like, really, like, not really explored.
Someone says it was cringe they mentioned the Antifa massacre. Yeah, literally. They keep doing all this like weird cultural shorthand to like attach to the,
and that it's ambiguous as well in how that's perceived exactly. So that all really irritated me, because if it's a civil war, how on earth could you have a kind of neutral fucking standpoint from that?
Oh, Quinn's Ideas is here.
Hey Quinn.
Hey Quinn, what's up?
Oh man, we want to talk about fucking Three Body now again with you since the Netflix series is out, because I've definitely got a lot of stuff to talk about.
Yeah, I'll hit you up on Twitter or something.
But yeah, like I thought that it was really really fucking pussy to make such a fucking neutral film about that topic.
Yeah, but then I mean,
at least make it fucking even if it's fantasy, even if what happens is fantasy, and you don't actually reference anything in real life. Make it it makes it interesting.
Yeah.
Make up some kind of fucking conflict. Make up some kind of fucking interesting thing.
Yeah.
But like, no, it's just kind of the quest to interview the president, and you still have no context to the character of the president. But other than this slight Trumpian illusion, not even very heavy.
Not very heavy, no. But it's the thing is, it's a zeitgeist movie, but it's appealing to the zeitgeist in an incredibly lazy fashion.
Yeah.
In like a TikTok fashion, in that sense.
Yeah.
Which a lot of films are doing these days, because they're not brave enough to actually say anything.
The next one like this will be the fucking... it wasn't Alex Garland. Who's the other one?
Darren Aronofsky.
No, Aaron Sorkin.
Oh, Aaron Sorkin.
Who made the Social Network.
Social Network. He's doing a January 6th fucking film.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, dude.
So I just, like, I think that, I don't know, maybe he will actually have something to say. Even if it will be cringe, it will still be, like, he'll have something to say, maybe.
I doubt it very much. I doubt it very much.
I feel like, I don't know, his other films, like, I really, really like Ex Machina. Ex Machina is such a fucking good sci-fi film. But I'm not really big on Annihilation and a bunch of his other movies. So I don't know if they suffer from similar kind of narrative issues. I didn't feel like the Ex Machina suffered in any way narrative exactly in the same way that this film did.
Yeah.
He didn't need to say anything interesting with the film or take any kind of stance about anything.
Yeah.
It's just a very, very interesting situation and let it play out. And even just the nature of a fucking civil war is exactly the same thing, yet you managed to make it really fucking boring. Like, I'm really confused about that.
That's its worst sin, is that it's boring, like, which is sad. But I guess the interesting element of it is how it kind of ties into the current zeitgeist of America surrounding the Israel-Palestine conflict, which is kind of acting as a ground for the culture war that pre-exists the conflict. All of the sort of culture war divides that pre-existed the Israel-Palestine conflict have now been exacerbated because Americans are kind of using it as a kind of portal to project the energies they have for this sort of tribal warfare. And one of the oldest tribal warfares on this planet is this Israel-Palestine conflict. And the reason I've not said much about it is because it's bringing out the worst in everybody. That is literally one of the elements of the film that did kind of grab me, was when you did see the violence and you did see the divide and you did see the way that people dehumanized each other. It's not too far away from a lot of what we're seeing now. And this shit is bringing out the worst in everyone. I was talking to you this morning about how, because I've lived in America, you've not. And I think I was telling you, just because Americans are white like you, don't think that they are civilized. They're the most tribal human beings on the fucking planet. And as somebody who's lived in both Europe and America, there's something primitive and wild and tribal about the way Americans cluster around tribal culture. And it's scary and it's dangerous. It's worse than anywhere I've ever seen. Like here in England, for instance, you won't see people with like shit on their lawns that like advertises their political beliefs or bumper stickers.
Sometimes you do.
Very rarely, and you'll be treated like a dickhead here if you fucking do that. No one. That's not a cultural thing. People aren't tribal like that here. It's only just sort of started to get like that because people are kind of aping American culture more now. But America is uniquely insane in that fashion. They're not civilized. They're tribal, barbaric people. And now they've globbed onto this other tribal conflict halfway around the world. And they're projecting all of their like id onto it. And it's bringing out the worst in people. It's making people crazy. And that was the element of the film that like disturbed me the most, is that it didn't feel too far away from the sort of feeling of the current American climate now. And yeah, it was frightening.
Yeah, I mean, what the Civil War film?
Yeah,
I didn't really feel frightened.
I did, in terms of how it links to the current zeitgeist, and the fact that it shows off this.
I think it's only frightening in its way that it feels kind of like something that could happen. Not that like California and Texas was to secede and whatever sort of bullshit fucking scenario he actually laid out.
Yeah.
But the idea of civil war, of people turning against each other and not really knowing who is friend and foe.
But they're just looking for any excuse.
And I feel like
which is like what the film shows, and I think that the film did a really good job of showing that the American psyche is just looking for any excuse to have this big apocalyptic fucking divide, and the Israel-Palestine conflict has like sort of added fuel to that, if you know what I mean. And it's almost the perfect battleground for these divisions to play themselves out on. I doubt a lot of these people even give a shit about what's going on in the Middle East. It's about their tribal conflicts at home. And those tribal conflicts are kind of being projected onto this thing. And I don't want to go anywhere near that shit because it's human evil. It's Wetico, as the Native Americans call it.
To be honest,
it's fucking human evil. And if you want to play around with that shit, it's your journey in the Bardo. I'm not going to be in the Bardo with you when you fucking die. Like, that's you. That's your soul that you're fucking playing with.
I care about it as much as it's sort of something that is a precursor to World War III, basically. You know what I mean? Like, I don't lose sleep over it or anything like that, but the reason it concerns me is because it has the potential for more nations to get involved, and that can get really fucking hairy really fucking quickly.
Yeah.
And you already saw that with Iran and some other stuff. So like, hopefully shit just fucking chills the fuck out, because the way that it concerns me is only really in that capacity. Like, there's going to be conflict and strife in that area of the world probably for the foreseeable fucking future, and there's really very little that like any Western government's going to do to be able to prevent any of that. So I'm not going to get out in the fucking streets about that shit. That's crazy, man.
Well, not even just that. I don't blame the people who are in the streets calling for a ceasefire. A ceasefire is a moral imperative.
No one's calling for a ceasefire. They're all calling for each other's fucking
necks, which is what I'm saying.
Crazy,
there are the people who aren't possessed by Wetiko, the ones who aren't possessed by evil, who genuinely want a ceasefire. And then there are the ones who are possessed by evil and primitive tribal shit that are using this conflict as an excuse to play out those tribal conflicts. And it's human evil on display. It really is. And it's really like, it really like frightens me. And the fact that the subject matter is sort of, being covered in films like it's a joke almost.
Well, Amadan just said a very interesting comment there. Like, it felt like the movie Civil War and Leave the World Behind, which I haven't seen.
Oh, we haven't seen that yet, yeah.
The next year's Lib movie after the one that we watched and was like, we're never
watching another Lib movie again. Never.
Felt like the permission for Civil War to enter the public discourse. And so that's quite an interesting idea as well, because I think there is a tremendous power to the idea of having permission to start openly thinking and talking about ideas like that. And that, the coincidence that they also had fucking nothing to say, and it's just sort of like a, there you go. What about that, guys? What about that idea?
It's so cowardly.
Let's make some memes, guys.
Yeah,
what kind of American are you, eh? Like, it's just like, what a fucking interesting time to be doing a movie like that. Or maybe that's very conspiratorial of me. I don't know. I should put the tinfoil away. But it's just, I don't know. Media is a fucking tool, man. And I think everybody's kind of more aware of that now more than ever. So that is a very interesting idea.
They just want to ape out. They want to ape out, and they're looking for any excuse to fucking ape out. And that's really what's going on, in my opinion, with a lot of it. And it's dangerous. Tribal conflict is one of the, like, areas of human behavior and psychology where, like, evil really crouches. And people are playing around with that shit like it's a joke. So they're playing around with it like it's a fucking joke.
J. George reckons that USA will not make it to the year 2050. I can't even really imagine what the world's what state the world will be in 2050.
Yeah.
In the sort of trajectory, in the pattern that things have been fairly recently.
Yeah.
Like, it's very like quite a hard thing to imagine.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I remember I was sort of like writing like ideas for like speculative science fiction like a few years ago and stuff, and I would do like little thought experiments and things like that of like thinking about what technology was evolving and all that sort of thing. But now it is literally just like I feel like everybody's just like they've seen the exponential curve and how freaky it fucking looks, and how how we're literally like there on the like on the going up bit, and the up bit is literally like a fucking wall from this moment onwards.
Yeah.
And how now it's sort of, and that's not even just in terms of technology, but also just in terms of like tension.
Yeah.
And sort of disconnection with each other. It feels like in society.
Big time. And people sort of projecting their desire for blood onto these quote unquote causes. People just want to kill each other. They want to be at each other's throats. They want to have an easy friend enemy distinction. And it's like, what I see in America now is people hating their neighbors, like, and their friends and their family and their people that live next door to them. It's sad. It
is. I don't know. It's really crazy. It feels like no one's striving. Very few people are truly striving for peace. Most people are sort of striving for their own version of the apocalypse.
Yeah.
which I don't know. I'm glad that Fallout's come back into the zeitgeist. Because that's definitely my vibe. I definitely love it. Like, we're like Maximus and Lucy, dude. We're
reverse Maximus and Lucy. If you guys haven't been watching,
that's
Fallout.
The last real people show
we watched Fallout, the new Fallout. It's actually really amazing.
It was so good.
Old man Carl McLaughlin is in it. Fucking Fred Armisen makes a cameo. It's amazing. Like, it's everything that you want it to be. And there's like a sexy interracial couple. As the main characters, except the black one is the man and the white one. But we should do the Halloween costume.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, I'll be in the big robot suit and you can wear the sexy like Vault Dweller suit.
I'll be Lucy and you'll be Maximus.
Yeah, let's do that. I was gonna do Bella Baxter from Poor Things, even though I didn't like that movie. I just think it would be a great costume, but I like this idea better. We should do it. Quinn says he loved Fallout. It was so good. I loved it.
Fallout was I feel like a 9.5 at least. For me as a Fallout game enjoyer as well. It was a really, really incredible translation, and that very rarely ever happens.
Yeah, video game adaptations are usually pretty cursed, so I was surprised
I was savoring every moment, and it was also like I think a comedian I followed for a while who's done a few things with Duncan Trussell, Johnny Pemberton. It was kind of like his first big gig in a big TV show and stuff, so I was like super happy to see him get like a big first break and stuff on a great show that was
Amadan says Angie is very right about Americans. We have good qualities too, though. Look, mate, let me butter the Americans up a little bit, okay? I don't and Americans are lovely people, like, truly. Having lived there, they are, despite the fact that they're batshit crazy and they're tribal as fuck, they are if you're in their tribe, they're some of the nicest fucking people you'll ever meet. Like, Americans are the type of people where me and my mom were like these English people moving into this fucking neighborhood, and they bring a casserole. They come, they say hi, they introduce themselves. Like, that's not something that would happen in London, especially. Like, people would like look at you like you're crazy if you like knocked on their door. Americans are friendly.
Outside of London,
if you need help, they're like, I'll help you out. Like, they're like eager to help out. Like, Americans are very lovely people, but you have to be in their tribe. If you're not in their fucking tribe, then they want to fucking kill you. But yeah, that's how it works there. You need to be in one of the many tribes, and then you get the hospitality and the nice treatment, basically.
I don't know. I feel like I've always just been able to charm Americans because of the English accent.
The British, it only gets you so far.
On the West Coast, oh my God, it gets you everywhere.
It only gets you so far.
Everywhere.
You have to be there for a couple of years. Then they start asking you. Then they start asking you, what kind of American are you?
No.
They won't ask you that question.
I was in LA
for a while.
I was in LA for 3 days before a fucking movie producer came up to me.
Oh God.
And he was trying to take my number, and fucking we were already in business. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, it's literally, I feel like it's, I don't know, nothing happened of it, obviously. But if it's like, if I did that in 3 days, imagine like how easy it is.
Jake would rule America, basically, if he lived there.
He
would riz the pants off of everyone in America, basically. Is that what you're saying?
As a Brit in California, I feel like you do very well, like very easily, just because people are very quickly charmed by
people
the
are
British
quickly
accent.
Charmed by the British accent, but the thing is, they
accent.
still will eventually ask you what tribe you're in. And that was my problem in living in America. I'm black, but I wasn't African American. I'm British. I'm a bit of a nerd. I didn't fit in anywhere. Mm-hmm. I couldn't find a fucking tribe. And, you know, people kind of accommodate you, and they tolerate you, and they think you're a novelty for a while. But then when you don't fit into a tribe, they fucking attack. And that was kind of my experience navigating American culture, is that being part of some tribe is important in order to have protection, access to a community. That's why they're so crazy about things like fandom and politics. And they literally are the most tribal, primitive ass. And I'm saying this as an African, where we have serious ethnic conflicts on the continent. Americans are tribal people. They literally should be wearing war paint and fucking beating drums and shit. And they literally are unconsciously. It's under the threshold of consciousness. Like all that barbarism is like covered by this thin veneer of civilization. And that's sort of my, observation from having lived there.
I feel like in New York, they don't give a shit about English people.
No. Of course not.
They got all the late night guys there.
Yeah,
so they're sick of James Corden, and I would be too. Like, fuck James Corden.
Sorry, we apologize for
I can't believe you gave him a fucking show and you fucking put him up the way that you did. I feel like that's just like you should have a look at yourself, America. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, we all like, we're very questioning like what the fuck you saw in James Corden to be giving him a late night show like that. John Oliver, I give you that. Like, he's a charming lad and he can be funny.
Yeah.
Bit of a lib, but he can also be quite interesting and entertaining. I'll give.
But he's irritating.
He's kind of an irritating, but he's the one that I can actually bear. Maybe that's because I'm British. Though. I don't know.
You're like, he's one of the boys.
In America, I bet they're all like, he's next. Fuck John Oliver. We've had enough of him too.
In the Civil War, he's like there with like a machine gun, like ready to go. Oh God. But yeah, that was sort of my observation and experience having lived in America, is that, they are very tribal. And Civil War, that was one of the elements of the film I did like, was that it sort of captured that tribalness. But I feel like the tribal impulses are getting to an incredibly dangerous level currently.
I'm trying to remember what the film's called that I feel like explores that the best, actually.
What, America's tribal fucking...
Yeah, and it's the fucking Seth Rogen, James Franco film where...
This is the end?
Yeah, this is the end. This is the end, is that what it's called?
Yeah, or something like that.
Where the rapture comes and like fucking Michael Cera slaps Rihanna's ass and shit.
Yeah.
Because they would just like turn on each other, and then like Channing Tatum becomes Danny McBride's like butt slave and as like a cannibal overlord and shit, and it's all just like completely fucking fake, and like everyone's just watching out for themselves. It's fucking genius.
God. Say butt slave again. What did we do? How did we make fireworks happen?
What?
Dude,
I didn't do anything.
I did not do a thing. That is so bizarre.
What did you do?
I didn't do anything. Did someone in the chat do that? Is that like a new feature of YouTube? Thank you anyway if you did.
I don't know what that is.
That was so weird. This is the end. The Walking Dead as well, because after American civilization falls apart in The Walking Dead, which is was like one of the biggest shows ever during its time. What does it devolve into? Like these like weird Age of Empire, like tribal factions. And I don't know. There's something about the American psyche that like enjoys and like wants that to be a thing. And I don't know. It's like there's like a desire to kind of break off into these like weird. And J. George might be right. Maybe there will be no America in 50 years. Like, who knows?
I know there was a lot of like talk at the moment about why Todd Howard would never base a Fallout game or series outside of America, and he was saying that the kind of American naivety is quite like essential to even just the idea of like Vault-Tec and that kind of Reclamation Day sort of like pioneering type kind of attitude or whatever. And the sort of like obliviousness and the sort of we're doing the right thing, even though you're actually like part of some crazy
cult
or something.
Yes. That's why because Fallout has those same themes, and you see that with Americans. It's like this great altruistic kind of can-do pioneer spirit, but like with all this crazy tribal cult fucking shit. It's just weird, and they're unaware of it. They're totally unaware of that. They think it's normal. They think it's fucking normal, and it's just like it's not normal. But they're lovely people. You just have to be in their tribe. That's just it. Just don't not be in the tribe. If you're not in the tribe, then you're in trouble.
Or
basically.
Just have charisma 10, basically, and you're fine.
Yeah, you're fine. You have to have really, really high levels of charisma to evade the detector of the American like tribal gaze. Like, I tried to camouflage myself as best as I could, but it was difficult. Very, very difficult. Let's see the chat. J. George says, I need a girlfriend because I want to do Andrew Eldritch and Patricia. Oh, lost the chat.
Hang on. Wait, there we go.
Patricia Morrison from the Sisters of Mercy for Halloween.
I don't know what that is.
That's a good idea. That's a good costume.
Is that from like Dune or something?
Am I thinking of the right thing? Should we Google it? Am I thinking of the wrong thing? I can't be bothered. Never mind. Yeah. So yeah, that's it for this. That's it for this evening, folks. Thank you very much for joining us. A couple of announcements before we go. Movie Club is starting up next week, Sunday. And we have 3 films on the bill. We have Angel's Egg again. We have Jodorowsky's The Dance of Reality again. And the film that's been added to, the new film that's been added to the list is Aronofsky's Pi, which is one of my favorite 90s schizo films. So remember to vote. Go to if you want to be part of it, you join us on Patreon. You get access to our Discord, and that's where our movie clubs take place, and we do them on Sundays. And if you're already a member of our Discord, be sure to vote in the Patreon for the film that you want. We just did We Live in Public.
Oh, it was fucking amazing.
Brilliant.
It was so good.
So good.
Such a good documentary.
Good. And because I'm kind, I'm going to put out our We Live in Public discussion for free on the channel for everybody.
But if you obviously come and join us, then you'll be part of the next discussion and recording and whatever that goes out. And so if you feel like, oh, this would be fun and I want to be part of that as well, come and join in. Come and join in. And if you like fucking cool jungle music, then go and check out my latest mix on my Palmer Eldritch YouTube channel.
It's a great mix. And keep your ear out for things that me and Jake are going to be making together, because we're making music again.
We are indeed.
Which I'm excited about. And also, tarot. If you want me to be your pocket tarot reader for the low price of $10 on our Patreon subscription, I will give you a tarot reading a month. I've been giving out quite a few recently, and people seem to really like them. So if you want to get access to any of our goodies on Patreon, you can do so by joining our Discord, and you get that through joining the Patreon. Thank you so much, guys, for hanging out with us